You can increase the efficiency of your sales team by at least 20% using this strategy. And no, it's not about having them speak quicker on sales calls or cut out the small talk. It's about automating their work for them. And that's what I'm going to cover in this video. If you don't know me, my name is David Shmula. I'm the founder of Outbound Partners. Outbound Partners is a sales automation and lead generation company. And in the last 3 years, we've generated over $250 million in closed contracts for our clients. So this video today is about how do we make the sales team more efficient? And the way we're going to do that is by automating their work for them. Because before a salesperson actually makes a phone call, they need to understand their prospect. They need to know what they do, what their position is, what problems their company has relevant to the solutions that this company is offering. Who are their competitors? What markets are they in? What industry? There are so many valuable pieces of information, and to get that information actually takes quite a lot of time. They have to go to the company's website. They have to read about what's going on. They may have to go to recent press or recent news and see what's going on with them in the market. They need to look at their products, look at customer reviews, and then there's so many other sites that provide really valuable and insightful data, but all this takes a lot of time. So the goal here today, what we're going to cover, is a way we can automate that work right there. And by doing that, we're going to dramatically increase the amount of time a sales rep can spend selling and decrease the amount of time that they need to spend researching, while maintaining the same level of research and knowledge that they would need to be effective on a sales call. Now, I hope that wasn't too convoluted, but nonetheless, let's jump into it and I'll show you exactly what this looks like in practice. And by the way, this is just one use case of automated research. There's a lot of reasons why you would want to do automated research and how it could accelerate things in your business. For example, supporting product teams, supporting marketing teams, supporting account-based marketing teams. So there's a lot of different use cases. Those are just a few. That's not what this video is about, but I just wanted to let you know that if you think this is interesting, but not exactly what your use case would be, I still think you should watch this because it should give you some ideas and some really tactical know-how on how you can implement this and then just tailor it to whatever use case that you need. So without further ado, let's jump into the docs. Okay, so here's a simple workflow of how leads enter your system. You get leads that come in through ads, through your newsletter, through cold email, or through any other marketing channel. And they come in, they go into your CRM, they get tagged, and that's really the extent of it. Whatever the user put in is what you have available here. There's so much meat that you can use to help your sales process. So unless if you're asking them that on some type of intake form here, then you're just going to get whatever data points they provide you, and it's going to get published into your CRM with whatever attribution tagging that you have. So this is the old way. The new way, which we're going to cover today, is this right here. And it's about having Clay before it gets published into your CRM. Because when the leads come in, we don't really know so much about them. We might know their name, we might know the company that they work with, and maybe we even know their phone number. And we know their traffic source, where they actually came from. But outside of that, we don't know so much, which is why it typically takes a sales rep quite a bit of time to really research and understand these prospective customers, as well as not only just understand them, we got to qualify them to make sure that they are in fact a good fit for the company. So this is the workflow that we're going to go over today. We're going to show you how you could take these, push them into Clay, and automate a whole bunch of different research tasks about the ads that they're running, a competitor analysis, the industries, all this different stuff I'm going to jump into in a moment. All right, so before we jump into it, I want to show you what the report actually looks like so you can see how user-friendly it is for the sales rep and how valuable it is for them to be more efficient and also more effective on a sales call. So let's jump into it. So here's an example of a report. You know, it has the report date, client name, prospect, domain, a whole bunch of different information here. It auto creates the table of contents, what the company does, the target market, the unique selling proposition, competitors, what the competitors do. And there's a lot of different information here. And all this information can help the sales rep be more efficient and more effective. This is just an example of what a report can look like. And for you, it could be anything. It's whatever information that you need can be put into this. So the first step here is getting everything inside of clay.com. This is very simple to do, and any automation engineer will be able to do this. But in short, you're going to use a tool like N8N or Make.com or even Zapier. And when a lead comes in through one of these traffic sources, i.e. ads, email, newsletter, etc., they're going to publish to this table. This table is going to be set to automatically run. And although I'm not going to go through each column in depth because it's going to lose the essence of what this video is really about, I will just skim through so you can see the different types of things that you can automate research on. But really the key concept of this video is how do we increase the efficiency of a sales rep, and what would the workflow actually look like to take a new lead coming into our system and then having a sales report that's readable by the sales rep. The contents of that report, which is essentially the contents of this table, is not the primary focus, but I think once you know the general concept, you'll be able to fill this in with all the information that you need. Anyways, so all the different leads they publish into here, we're just automating some research, some service overview, getting some website traffic, some SEO information, trends, reporting, if they're D2C, B2B, estimated order values, testimonial research, case study research, brand analysis, competitor analysis, recent company news, environmental sustainability governance commitments, upcoming product launches, the tech stack that they have, recent hirings, open job descriptions, stuff about their ads. And essentially, that's all that we have in this particular report. So what's important to know here is how we actually get all of that information that we just sourced from all these different columns and put it into a format that's understandable and usable for a sales rep. We're using Claude AI to organize all of the data. And you'd be surprised how well Claude does this, because it's not a one-to-one where it's like this column goes to this variable, this column goes to this variable. There are multiple columns that are providing context and information for one variable. So Claude takes all of this information, sorts through it, cleans it up, and makes it usable in each individual variable. That's how we organize everything. The next key step is to take all those variables and put it into a JSON format, because it's the JSON format that is going to allow us to actually create the report. So we're going to use ChatGPT and have it take those input variables as a regular text file and put it into a JSON format. And lastly, we're going to send a webhook to Make.com. I'm not going to open this because I don't want you to see my webhook ID, but that's going to take this information and send it over to Make.com. So let's jump into Make and I'll show you what we're doing from there. So now to do a quick pause, because that last section was a little dense. What we covered was getting the information from your traffic source into Clay.com. Then I gave you a few different examples of enrichments you can run in Clay to build out the contents of your report. And then in that last step, I showed you how to get that report back into Make.com using a webhook. This next section of the video, I'm going to show you what that automation looks like in Make.com to create the report, how to create a template for the report, and what it looks like in its final published form. Just a quick reminder for those who are more visual, this is essentially the workflow that we're building. We have our traffic sources, it goes into Clay. Clay pushes it to a CRM record, and inside that record is a Google Doc report that has all the relevant information and all the relevant research that a sales rep would want to know. We're using Make to automate this process, but any no-code automation tool or any code-based automation tool would be completely fine for this. Jumping into Make here, this is a very simple automation. If you remember from our Clay table, there's a last column, which I mentioned was a webhook that sent the information into Make. Well, that's this inbound webhook right here. What it does is it comes in, creates a document from a template, and inside that template is where we have all the different variables all neatly organized. This is inside the module, and it has all these different values here. And these values are automatically created from the template document. So here's the template document. You could see it's all follows the same format every single time. We have all the different variables associated to their corresponding section. We have a table of contents here, and everything just gets populated in through that make automation. So you can understand what's happening here is we have this webhook that's bringing all the data in from Clay, and then it's putting all that data into its respective variable within the Google document. And that's how we're actually creating the report. After that, we're just putting it into a Google Sheet where we're logging everything. Then it's going into close.com where it's searching the contact person's email address. That's how it's actually finding the record. And then it's updating the lead with the lead ID. And then we're just embedding the URL from the Google document. And that's how we actually get that URL inside of the contact record within the CRM. And all in all, that's it. This is how you create sales intelligence reports. So there's a lot of different use cases for this, but in this particular use case, our goal was to increase the efficiency of a sales rep and give them all the information and data that they would want to have on a sales call without them having to actually go and researching it themselves. So with this, we're able to increase the amount of time a sales rep spent selling and decrease the amount of time they spent researching. One quick thing before we go, because this is really important. Not only does this make a sales rep more efficient, it actually also makes them more effective. What do I mean by that? Yes, now they can spend more time selling and less time researching. But what we actually found when implementing this within various sales teams is that the research that we are doing is actually way more in depth than the research that a sales rep would do. And there's so much more data that they can leverage during a sales conversation to, one, really show the prospect that they understand their business, but two, also really find the opportunities of how they can best serve them. So like I said, not only does this make them more efficient, in many cases, it's actually made them more effective because most sales reps are not going to this level of research before a phone call. And last but not least, this is where all the documents are actually publishing inside of a relevant folder within Google Drive. And we're just taking the links from these individual files and putting the link into the CRM so that the relevant salesperson can use it. But everything is stored within here, and then everything is part of a directory right here where every single one of these records are inside of that spreadsheet, which also is just another way to view all the data that's available. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below and I'm happy to help out in any way I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.